Good morning, people. Monday motivation. What I want you to work on this week is getting your evidence together. Listen, assemble a case and bring your evidence to the table. And what do I mean by this? Well, the thing is, people, is when you have evidence there, you cannot argue with it. I want you to focus on, put your energy into, put all your strength and all your time into gaining the evidence of who you are, what you're about, what you do, and indeed what you've done in the past. Because listen, LinkedIn is an amazing place, and there's some incredible people in here. But what I'm actually seeing on a regular is people giving big ups to others. There's posts being put out, you know, shout this person out, shout that person out, and people are shouting people out left, right, and center. And there's some absolute incredible beasts that are being shouted out because of what they do and what they've achieved. But also mixed in with that are people that are getting the shout outs, and when you look at it, you're saying, hang on a minute, they aren't doing, or they haven't done what it is that you've shouted them out for. And if the evidence is there, listen, you don't need to be shouted out, because listen, I'm stepping up to the plate every Monday for the Monday motivation, and you will see that I'm not even tagging people. I'm letting my message speak for itself. I'm letting my style, my delivery speak for itself. I'm letting my authenticity ooze out and be evidence to you of what I'm about and who I am. And I know that the people that comment on this are the ones that are looking for it, and the ones who are genuine. You understand what I'm saying? But if I get a shout out, listen, I can't help that. But the thing is I don't need a shout out. I don't need no shout outs. You understand? I'm building something, and I'm working towards letting me speak for myself, letting what it is that I do speak for itself. And that's something that I'm very proud of. I'm very proud to be able to show where I've been, what I've done, the work in which I do, the testimonies, the feedback. Listen, the regular updates of where I'm speaking, because I only, document about 20% of what it is that I do. I don't want to overload people. I don't want to bombard you with what it is that I do. But also, I work with some very vulnerable youngsters and adults. I go into the youth offender institutes. I go into the prisons. Listen, I can't be documenting stuff in there. I can't be showing you the people that I speak to and do sessions with and mentoring there. I can't be doing that. I can't be showing you gypsy travelers. I can't be showing you vulnerable youngsters. I can't be showing you this stuff, but I don't want to bombard you anyway. But listen, the evidence is there. The evidence is there, and that's something that I'm very proud of, and that I can bring to the table. Because when you actually show the evidence, it speaks for itself. Because if there's been a crime, right? If there's been a crime, listen, the barristers, the lawyers, the Crown prosecution, what they will do is they will work behind the scenes to get the evidence and then bring it and then say, look, this is what it is. This is how it is, and you can't argue with this. Of course, you will get the kind of debate of, listen, that happened. No, this happened this way, and he said that, she said that. But of course, when you've got the evidence, man, it's there and it speaks for itself. But too many people are on here actually saying that there's something, actually doing, or saying that they're doing something when they're not actually doing it. Now, I can only speak from a speaker's point of view, so I'm going to take it from a speaker's perspective. And so you can join it up with whatever it is that you do, and you can connect it with whatever it is that you do. Because speakers are coming on here and doing exactly what I'm doing now, but they're calling themselves as speakers. But what I want to see is photographic evidence of you in front of people. What I want to see is a video or something, feedback from a teacher, feedback from someone that you've spoken to, where they've said, this guy, this woman, this girl, this lady has absolutely blown the roof off. They've made all this change, and they've made an impact, and they've helped the students, or they've helped my employees, they've helped this business, they've helped this organization. But it's not happening. It's not happening, people. So you have to go and get the evidence. But I can only speak from a speaker's point of view, like I say. But there are too many people out there saying that there's something when they're not. And it's not just in the speaking game, but I'm very proud of who I am. I'm very proud of what I do, because the fact of the matter is, when I go and speak in prisons, it's not because I'm an ex-offender. When I go and speak to professional sports teams, it's not because I'm a professional, ex-professional football player, or I'm a ex-professional tennis player, or I'm an ex-professional rugby player, or NFL football player, or anything like that. You understand what I'm saying? It's purely based on my message. It's purely based on who I am. It's purely based on my delivery, my style, my technique, my authenticity. It's because of the passion in which I have, the effort in which I put in, the sacrifice in which I'm prepared to give. That's why the people get me in. That's why the people get me in. And I'm very, very proud to be able to speak in all these different environments, because there's people out there calling themselves the best and they can't speak in the environments in which I speak in. They've tried, but they've failed. But the fact of the matter is they won't be speaking in Gypsy Traveller community sites. They won't be speaking to professional sports teams. They certainly cannot speak in youth offender institutes and prisons. Do you know when you're going in, and they may have been heckled in the past, right? Or they may have wanted to get off stage, or they may have run out of material. But the fact of the matter is, if you want me to speak for an hour, I'll speak for an hour. If you want me to speak for 2, I'll speak for 2. You want me to speak for free, I'll speak for free. Listen, that's just how it goes. But these speakers, some of these speakers, they have a comfort zone of how long they speak for and just a niche audience in which they speak to, and yet they call themselves the best. Because I've seen very, very well-respected speakers that I've got a lot of love and admiration for. One quite recently that tried the 5 1-hour talks in a day, and man, it hit this person hard. But I do that on a regular, even down to the point is, it was only back in November for 4 days solid. I done 5 1-hour talks in a day on a very, very emotive subject, 4 days on the trot. Boom, 20 talks in 4 days, 5 1-hour talks in a day, boom, 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 5 1-hour talks in, then, in a day, the next day, boom, 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 boom. Then I had to travel to the next city and stay overnight in that place, and then give 5 1-hour talks in a day, boom, 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 boom. For the 3rd day, 5 1-hour talks in a day, boom, 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 boom. For the 4th day, I'm very, very proud to be able to do that. I'm very, very proud, but the evidence backs it up. I'm not just saying this stuff to sound deep or to be impacting or to try and impress people. It's just purely stating facts. I'm bringing the evidence, people, and that's what you have to do, because when you bring the evidence, it speaks for itself. And if you put as much focus and energy into actually gaining the evidence as to what you do coming on social media, getting the shout outs and saying thank you to people for giving you shout outs, or telling people what you are when it's not even true. Listen, if you use that amount of focus and energy, then you could just gain the evidence, actually have the real life experiences, and actually bring it to the table and say, look, this is just what has happened, not what I'm gonna do, not what I am when there's nothing to back it up. Listen, this is what I've done. This is what I've done. And isn't that the better way around of actually going out, experiencing it, actually changing those lives, actually making an impact, inspiring, motivating, actually having that experience, and then coming back saying, listen, this is the evidence, instead of putting all your time, your energy and your focus thanking people for shout outs, because they may think, oh, well, I gave them a shout out a couple of weeks ago, a couple of days ago or whatever, and that person thinks, yeah, they did. They gave me a shout out, but I've got to give another shout out. Now I've got to give them a shout out, and I've got to add a little bit of flavour to it, and they might add a little bit 3, 4, 5% extra on top of it. And it's all nice, but listen, you can't argue with evidence. Can't argue with the evidence, people. When you bring the evidence, you don't have to tell anybody. You don't need the shout outs. You don't need the big ups, because your evidence will speak for itself. And that then shows that you have experienced the thing itself. And that is the biggest reward that you can get, people. That's the biggest reward that you can get. So if you put as much energy into actually getting the experience, into actually gaining the evidence of doing something, man, the evidence speaks for itself. So this is the message. Put it this week. Focus on the energy, people. Focus all your energy on getting the evidence. And then you can come on LinkedIn and say, listen, this is who I am. This is what I've done. This is the testimony. This is the feedback. That's all your honor. Case closed. No further questions. Go and get that evidence, people. Speaks for itself. Blessings.